Now that Thanksgiving is over, guess what season it is?
The end of UC app season and the start of private app season?
No, it's the most wonderful time of the year, Christmas.
Oh, right. It's December. At least my UCs and Cal States are out of the way now.
Which means you could sip on some hot cocoa.
While I pump out the rest of those supplemental essays.
Anyways, we should start the show.
Oh yeah, right. I'm Cayla.
And I'm Terry. Welcome to Show 11. For seniors interested in applying to Pasadena City College, there will be an application workshop held next week on Thursday during the preferred period. Reserve your spot by filling out the Google form down below by December 6th, no later than 4 p.m. Good luck, seniors, on completing your college applications.
Bullying has been an ongoing issue at Arcadia High School, with multiple stories about specific cases and the actions of the admin that disappointed victims. Amish and Maryam decided to take a deeper dive and find out what's happening.
Many cases of bullying and the administration's underwhelming response to bullying have been reported to us over the course of the past few weeks. In this investigative story, we spoke with victims as well as the admin to learn more about these ongoing occurrences. We started this investigation when an anonymous Apache told us about her experience with the admin.
In my case, my friends and I were intensely bullied by multiple people last year, causing me great harm. I personally was cyberbullied and physically assaulted during this time period, which I reported to the admin. When multiple victims and I spoke to the dean and other admin, we were told that there would be reasonable punishment. But instead, this went on for months on end, resulting in a lack of communication and information from the dean, and the bullying intensifying. We were told that in order for our case to be considered, we needed proof, which we had in the form of numerous screenshots. Messages online, included but were not limited to, telling people to die, physically harm themselves, slurs, and much more.
Listening to what she said, we went to Mr. Finn to see how bullies in cases like hers are supposed to be dealt with.
We do have a discipline matrix, and so the consequences are based on the action. So after an investigation, based on whatever actions we were discovered to be true and provable, then we would take the appropriate steps.
There's physical evidence like screenshots that would be...
That would be evidence, yeah.
We also spoke with Nathan Liu, a senior who has dealt with numerous cases of bullying and homophobia at AHS. He agreed to speak to us on camera.
Whether it's being laughed at every day when you walk in class, or when a group of boys snicker at you to their friends when you walk down the halls, or how about being called slurs that nobody actually knows the weight of. I'm not only talking about the direct bullies, I'm also talking about the people who see it and let this happen. You are guilty by association. People forget that we're human just because we're different. The same people you bully for being different are the same people who try to take their own lives every 45 seconds.
Upon talking to Nathan, we went to Mr. Kearney to get his take on homophobia.
Support all students who are, involved or deal with the LGBTQ community. And at this time, we are partnering with an organization that is going to train the staff train us in general to help provide more support, more resources for students, and also educate, which to me is the main thing that's needed to dismantle or to fight against homophobia.
Lastly, we think it is very important to know how to report bullying at AHS. Here is Ms. Duberk to explain.
If you're aware of bullying that's happening, or if you're being bullied, the first step would be to come to the Student Resource Office. And when you come to the Student Resource Office, you'll speak to either Ms. Cloud, our secretary here, potentially one of the security officers, or even myself, and we'll kind of get a background of what's going on. And what we'll do is we will ask you to write a statement. So in that written statement, we'll get detailed information of what's happening. So we'll want to gather as much information as we can as it's being reported so that we can investigate.
Thank you to all of the individuals that shared their respective stories with us. This is Amish from the admin office. Back to the studio.
The track and field team is holding tryouts next week after school from December 5th to December 9th. If you want to turn in your athletic clearance form ahead of time, visit Coach Schultz before school or at lunch in C101. Run over and sign up for tryouts now. Come support the dance department at their charity dance show next Friday. You can pre-order tickets using the link below, and general will be $15 and VIP will be $20. Make sure to pay with the coupon code AUSD student for $5 off any ticket. The dancers put in a lot of hard work for this show, so don't miss out, Apaches.
After a tragic fire in the city of Urumqi, protests erupted across China. Let's go to Nicole to find out what Chinese residents are protesting and why.
10 people died in a high-rise fire in Urumqi, China, because COVID restrictions blocked first responders from entering. It took 3 hours before rescue work could begin due to the barriers.
A zero COVID policy is established by the Chinese leadership, and it's starting to wear thin among the people. What started as a memorial to the loss of this life is morphed into something where it's now just an outward protest that they're done with the lockdowns.
A lot of civilians gathered around Urumqi Road, which is a road in Shanghai. People are chanting "Xi step down" and chanting "CCP step down," and they are asking for revolution, asking for change.
Protesters hold up blank sheets of white paper. They call it the A4 Revolution.
When they raise this blank piece of paper up, they are expressing their anger towards this limited speech that they have endured for so many years, and expresses all of the things that they want to say but can't say due to the fear of prosecution of the government.
So considering that it's the most autocratic society that we've seen in a long period of time, the fact that this is happening to this degree is nothing short of a surprise. I think not only for the leadership in China, but I think around the world. And as much as they're trying to suppress the information through their media censorship, it's not working because the word is getting out.
Official reports say that 10 people were killed and 9 were severely injured, but many of the local Uyghur people that had extended on this news claims that at least 40 that died and maybe many more that were injured. I have family members in Urumqi. They don't get the freshest groceries, vegetables, fruits, and stuff like that, necessities that they need.
Forgiving, and nothing beats saving lives. SMW is hosting their UCLA blood drive, and here's Alexa and Hayden to tell us more about it.
So our upcoming blood drive is happening on Tuesday, January 17 in the North Gym, and students 16 years old and up are eligible to donate. Sign-ups are starting right away up until January 9th, and you can sign up at lunch by the rally court, packed patio, or by the student parking lots until December 9. You can also sign up through any SMW member in D102 during lunch or passing period, or at the ASB office during their office hours until January 9th. Students must sign up before taking a blue consent form, and they must fill those out and turn them in at the ASB office by January 9th.
On the day of the blood drive, please make sure to eat a really good breakfast, get lots of sleep, and stay hydrated. If you're under 110 pounds, you will not be able to donate, and we do not recommend any strenuous activity before or after the blood drive, as you may feel nauseous or sick. That's it for both of us, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact any SMW member. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming, and be sure to check out the posters around school if you're interested.
Seek Eats is a local group that aims to help students get discounts on food around the 626 area, like Wushiland, Boiling Point, and Poke Bar. Visit their Instagram to redeem these deals, and tune in next week's show to get an inside look on how it works.
The long-awaited sequel to Marvel's Black Panther has finally arrived, but without Chadwick Boseman, will it successfully live up to his legacy? Let's go to Elijah to find out.
Over Thanksgiving break, I went to see the long-awaited Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and it wasn't that great.
The movie begins with the entire Wakanda nation mourning over King T'Challa's death. Wakanda is then forced into immense political pressure for the vibranium. America attempts to mine for the vibranium in the ocean, but are stopped by blue water people who also have access to the metal. The main antagonist Namor is now introduced, requesting Wakanda's support to basically take over the world. His request is denied and war breaks out for the rest of the film. To be honest, I dislike this movie. For one, the movie was way too long. This movie had the same length as Endgame, yet half the plot and entertainment. This tedious 3 hours had some high moments, but most of the movie was quite boring. The battles were really repetitive and nothing really came out of them until the final one. There's plenty more wrong with the movie. Like the horrible soundtrack compared to the previous film, the acting was meh, and the Black Panther suit didn't even appear until 2 hours into the movie. There's a few good qualities to the movie though. The underwater environments were beautiful to look at, and the final battle was filled to the brim with action. There were some twists to the movie that I didn't expect, and the ending was pretty decent, but these high points didn't last long.
Overall, the movie was pretty boring. It was filled with tons of plot holes. I'd give it a final rating of 2 Black Panthers out of 5. This has been Eli, and back to the anchors in the studio.
Hey, isn't your birthday coming up soon?
Yeah, I'll be 18 soon.
Isn't it annoying having a birthday in December?
Yeah, I usually only end up getting one gift.
Huh, not a bad idea. One gift means less money. Anyway, let's head over to Rahul to hear about our Apache athletes for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Cayla. While we were all enjoying our week-long break relaxing, our Apache athletes continue to stay in form for the current winter season. One notable team that has been dominating the competition lately is our girls' water polo team. Let's send it over to Karthik at the pool to recap the team's last couple games this week.
Thanks, Rahul. Our girls' water polo team has had a great start so far, but let's take a more in-depth look at how they did this week.
On Monday, they played Temple City, and although they fought hard, they lost with a score of 9-13. Following that, they beat Baldwin Park with a devastating win of 18-1. Yesterday, they played Polytechnic and won through their excellent teamwork, finishing with a final score of 15-10.
Great job to our girls' water polo athletes, and let's hope they continue to show their dominance in the pool. For now, let's go back to Rahul with the other sports of the week.
One of, if not the biggest sporting events is currently ongoing. That's right, the FIFA World Cup. As we near the end of the group stage, we've seen some immeasurable talent grace either our monitors or our eyes for those lucky enough to travel to Qatar. With that all said and done, here's Jacob to bring you a recap of the 2022 World Cup so far.
The FIFA World Cup is the most famous sporting event of all time, and it is back once again, this time being hosted by none other than Qatar. With nearly all the group stage matches played, let's recap the top nations that are advancing to the knockout stage, as well as some impressive highlights of the tournament so far. Currently, the nations advancing to the round of 16 are Netherlands and Senegal from Group A, with host nation Qatar being knocked out early on. England and our very own USA from Group B, Argentina and Poland from Group C, France and Australia from Group D, and Japan and Spain from Group E. Now let's get into some monumental highlights. It was great to see the United States finally playing after an 8-year drought of the World Cup involvement. 22-year-old Tim Wei opened the score sheet for the US in their game against Wales. Another huge achievement was their tie against group giants England with a final score of 0-0. Even though Christian Pulisic was injured after his goal against Iran, he will luckily be fit and ready for their match tomorrow against the Netherlands. Another amazing feat was Mexico's Memo Ochoa saving Robert Lewandowski's penalty, to save 2 penalties in one World Cup. Spain's massive 7-0 win against Costa Rica, including this absolute banger from 18-year-old Gavi.
Gavi has a goal!
Canada's first ever World Cup goal was scored by Alphonso Davies. And we had to mention Richarlison's amazing scissor kick for Brazil.
And Richarlison!
And Cristiano Ronaldo becoming the first ever man to score in 5 separate World Cups. Let's get ready to see some exciting games tomorrow as the round of 16 commences with the USA going up against the Netherlands at 7 a.m. Our hearts go out to all of the migrant workers that lost their lives in the building process of the stadiums in Qatar. Enjoy the beautiful game, Apaches.
We can't sports without highlighting our other amazing sports teams that played this week. So let's do just that. On Tuesday, boys soccer won 7-0 against Workman. On Wednesday, girls soccer tied 0-0 against Marshall. And yesterday, girls water polo won 15-10 against Pasadena Polytechnic. Today, be sure to head out to the field at 3:30 as girls soccer plays at home against Monrovia. Make sure you also cheer on our girls basketball team as they play here at the North Gym at 5. Lastly, boys soccer plays away at 3:15 against Whittier. Well, that was a packed sports for the week, but we're not complaining about seeing some great talent. This has been Rahul signing off for Apache Sports for the week. Back to Terry and Cayla.
So, are you ready to get into the holiday spirit yet?
Yeah, after apps finish in January.
What about now?
That is pretty convincing. Okay,
That's the
I'll
spirit.
deal with apps in the new year.
Man, I'm really gonna miss dressing up next year.
I know, but at least we looked good in this one.
Maybe we went a little overboard. Anyways, let's wrap up the show.
Right, this has been Cayla.
And Terry, make sure to check out all our socials down below.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to tune in next week. Bye!